Well, hey there. Welcome to day 3 of our 30-day free Get Up and Go challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're going to talk about the 7 keys. Now, I should have grabbed 7 keys and used them, but instead I created this awesome graphic on cardboard for you to discuss the 7 keys, the 7 key areas of our life that we need to pay at least a little bit of attention to, because if we don't, they will come back to bite us in the you-know-what and make us pay attention to them. How do I know? Personal massive experiences with this exact thing. So what are the 7 key areas of our life? I learned these from Tony Robbins 35, 40 years ago when I was having a personal physical struggle. I was having a massive major health challenge and I was bedridden, and I came across Tony Robbins, and I would listen to him because that's about all I could do back then. I would listen to him and some of the things that he taught and said. And one thing that stuck with me was that there's these 7 key areas of your life, and you need to pay attention to all of them. Now, doesn't mean they're going to be balanced. Balance to me is complete and utter nonsense. It's like thinking that life is fair and that we're all equal. We're all equal as human beings, but what we achieve in life is definitely different based on our actions and our experiences. So what are these 7 areas? And we'll just touch on them briefly, and then our action item today is going to be to put them in priority order for you. And by priority order, I mean what is most important from 1 to 7 for you right now. Now, these are, and this is the order I learned them in. I actually have been playing with, well, what's a better way to remember them? You know, like Roy G. Biv for remembering the colors of the rainbow. Well, there's 7 colors of the rainbow, right? There's 7 days in the week. There's 7 used to be 7 numbers, digits in a phone number, but not anymore. Everybody's got 10 at least in our phone numbers. So 7 is a very key number and crucial number, and supposedly our short-term memory can handle 7 items. So what I say is take these items, I take the first letter from each one, and I'm going to come up with a better one than the order that I share them in, but this is the order I learned them in. I've got them memorized, and once they're in your brain, that's how you operate with them. And for me, they're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. What do each of these mean? Physical, our physical well-being, our health, our energy, our ability to get out of bed in the morning, what we have the energy and the physical stamina to do is all encompassed in our physical well-being. What we eat, what we sleep, how we move, our exercise, anything physical has to do and falls under the category of it's a key, and it's actually, I personally think the foundational key, or one of the foundational keys. I think our health is the foundation on which we build the rest of our life. So physical definitely fits into that. What do we eat? What do we drink? How do we take care of ourselves? What habits do we have that are good and reinforce our body's ability to function the way we want it to? What habits do we have that aren't so well? Now, the top of everybody's mind, of course, during the COVID pandemic is how do we stay healthy? How do we protect the people we love and care about and make sure that we stay healthy so they stay healthy as well? So physical well-being, physical is one of the key areas of our life that we need to pay attention to. The next one is mental, our mindset, what we think, what we're being exposed to, what we're listening to, what we're watching. So our mental well-being. That ties into, of course, our emotional key, the emotional key, our emotional well-being, what we're feeling. Because guess what? As much as we like to think we're these thinking, amazing, rational beings, we totally aren't. We do everything based on feeling, and then we justify it with reason. So physical, mental, emotional. Then, of course, there's the spirit. There's the bigger part of us that is, defined by each of us. All of these are defined by each of us, right? What's important to us in each of these areas is entirely up to you. I don't know what being physically energized and fit looks like for you. I only know what it looks like for me. So physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual to me are the 4 keys that make up the foundation of our health, our being, our mental, our emotional, our spiritual, and our physical health. Then there's our financial situation, right? For some of us, financial would be what we consider the foundation. If we don't have money, we can't take care of ourselves. If we don't have money, we can't go to the health club. If we don't have money, we can't get food. If we don't have money, we don't have shelter and a place to live. So financial is a huge concern for all of us human beings, especially during chaotic times like COVID. The next area is, of course, relationships. Our life, believe it or not, is all about the experiences that we have while we're here on the planet. And much of that involves relationships. Even during a pandemic, when we're separated from one another, we still find ways to communicate, get together, and spend time and energy with one another. Even if it's just over Zoom or over Facebook Live or digitally, we find ways to connect and see and engage with other people. And the final key of the 7 keys is contribution. What the heck am I here to contribute to the rest of the world? I believe that everybody's here to make the world a better place and to experience this life only as you uniquely can. And that is your contribution. What your contribution is 100%, like everything else, entirely up to you. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. Put those in order of what's most important to you as 1 and least important to you as 7. And then in the comments below, just share the one area that's the most important to you. And I'm saying the most important to you right now. Why now? Because now is the only time you can impact or affect anything. I will tell you over time how I've emphasized the different keys, areas of my life has changed. Back even just 10 years ago, physical was like on the bottom of my list. It was 7th. It was the number 7 priority, and my behavior and my actions clearly demonstrated that, up to the point where, and this is where if you don't pay any attention to any of these areas, to one of these areas of your life, it will get your attention. I was paying almost zero, maybe 0.5% attention to my physical well-being. I ate and I drank something every day, but it wasn't good for me. I never exercised. I physically was not paying any attention to myself. I was putting myself last in priority order, and I ended up having a sudden cardiac arrest. Now, there was some mental and emotional and spiritual health challenges going on there as well, but all combined together, I wasn't paying enough attention to that area of my life, and it gave me a huge life lesson wake-up call. I don't want that to ever happen to you or anyone else. So today, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution. Rank them in the order for you. Nobody's going to see it, but share your number 1 thing in the comments below, and your number 1 area. And the reason I say that is I think we're going to find that we have a lot more in common than we might know. And I want us to know that we're not alone in our priorities and our concerns. I would expect at least half the people have financial as their number 1 priority right now because of what's going on in the world. For me, that is not my number 1. My number 1 is physical. It's absolutely positively my physical well-being, because COVID, I've let some bad habits sneak back into my life, and part of why I do challenges is so that I can work on chipping away and replacing those bad habits with good habits. We'll talk about that later on in the challenge, of course. Go out, make it an awesome day. Share in the comments below your number 1 priority area, but make sure in your mind you've ranked them so you know what is overall your big picture direction of where you're going, using these 7 keys to making your life work for you. Have an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.